What's up, guys? I'm Kevin. This is Entertaining Entropy. Today's episode is a tutorial on DeFi Land, which is a farming-style NFT project that's built on the Solana blockchain. DeFi Land aims to make decentralized finance in a gamified way, where we're using play-to-earn aspects to chill in a farming-style NFT, playing games, feeding animals, staking, access to liquid pairing in the form of farms, a graphical interface that's easy to use, and gives me access to strategic tools and financial assets that I wouldn't normally have in an easy and engaging way. DeFi Land aims to have a space that other creators can build their projects into using their code, using their ideology, and have a space that everybody is able to join together in a metaverse where assets are transferable and shared. If you like today's episode, check out some of my other episodes where I go over cryptocurrency basics in a fundamental 101 course, building into more advanced topics, NFTs, and other projects like DeFi Land that I get into. In today's episode, I'll be covering the basics of DeFi Land, how to access the game, where to get your wallet, what wallet I use, what NFTs I would purchase with animals, how to play the games, how to buy your first NFT, really just every part of the project itself from 0 to 100. This will get you up and going, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. All right, guys, here we are. This is the DeFiland.app website where we can see a ton of information about the project. I have the ability to pop into their Discord. I can see their Twitter, these little buttons at the bottom here. Don't miss them. And the DeFi Land Medium, we got some of the DeFi Land official docs and some of the things that will actually inform you about what's upcoming, but what's happening in the game as well. Really, what I want to do to get into the game, to get started, is this big play button here next to the buy, which will bring me to play.defiland.app. This is the website you may want to bookmark to jump right into the project, into the game itself. And this starts to ask me which wallet I'd like to connect. And for those of you who are new to the cryptocurrency and NFTs and these types of things, a wallet is a way for me to hold on to my assets that are tied to the game. And what does that mean? Well, that's just my coins, the things that I earn in the game, my tools, my animals. Those are NFTs. Those are things that are going to be tied to me and not anybody else, no other players in the game. Here, I really like Phantom, so I'm going to use that one in today's demonstration, but there are a ton of different options that we have here. Phantom Ledger, it's a hybrid version that's really good, a really good recommended option from me. And if you hadn't ever downloaded or had Phantom installed yet, you just go to phantom.app here /download. It's also available on the App Store and Google Play, so you can get it on your mobile device, which is pretty cool. And just installing this, it becomes a little extension that you have on your computer here in your web browser. And this allows you to sort of hold the coins, move things around on the blockchain, and play the game, really. Have a save, right? This is how you save your stuff. Here, it'll actually ask you for a secret recovery phrase. With your cryptocurrency wallets, they're always going to have this. Don't ever share it with anybody. And this ends up being a way for you to get your stuff back if for whatever reason you got disconnected, you lost it, your computer got lost, or you want to even bring your save point, your game, your stuff to a different device. So keep that somewhere safe. Don't share it with anybody. Once you get your wallet installed, you just go ahead and click on Phantom here in this example, or whichever wallet you've got. And here I'll get a signature request to approve the login and the connection to the wallet for this project. The play button becomes available. Boom, I click it. The loading screen might be a little longer when you first turn this on. It takes a little while on the first login. Not really that long, not like 10-20 minutes, but it should only be a minute or two. And boom, I'm in here. It will also ask you which team you want to be on. I've already dived into the Monk team. This is a team that I like, but there's also the Doge and Pepe as well. So take your pick on which one you like. And here with this, you can see I'm able to actually move around the farm using the middle mouse button. I can turn and view the camera at different angles, zooming in and out with that scroll bar. And then with the right mouse button, I can move around the map here and click and drag. When I left click, that's when I'm actually selecting things. And you can see I can actually hover over and highlight a couple of different options of things that you're already noticing in my map. Before I start to click on some of the things on my map, you can actually move around and customize your map with this 3 lines in the top right-hand corner and the edit mode, where now I'm able to actually customize everything that you see here, besides some of the major structures that you'll find, like the market and the house and things like that. But for the most part, I can pick something up, move it around. The T and the Y button is the keys that you'll move and rotate the items around. And looking through my inventory, I have a whole bunch of different options of things that I can place and get really artsy, really creative with what I'm doing here. I actually had my wife do this. I'm not as artsy and creative, so if you notice mine, it's looking good. It was my wife that had any involvement. There's going to be a bunch of key buildings you want to place down, some of which are going to be the game building. So you got the fishing game, the harvester game, and the shooting game. But you're also going to want to place some of the animals here as well. Another big one that was just added in the game is this coin flipper. So you got to find a spot for him, right? And boom, we got a spot for the flipper. Now when I go ahead and save up here in the top right-hand corner, I'm able to now use this new building here, for example. And so there's a bunch of different types of buildings you'll notice. Let's go through some of them. Flipper's a good one. We'll talk about him more later. But some of the main buildings you're going to find are the market, the games, the animals, the farm, and the NFT marketplace. So these are all different ways to interact with the game. I'll go through each one of them in this video, but really having them all out gives you all options to be able to use the different parts and aspects of the game. All right, so next I'll go over the 3 games that we have in DeFi Land. We got a fishing game, a shooting game, and a harvesting game here, as you can see. And these are all going to be ones that right now I don't actually have an NFT for. So you'll notice I have a free-to-play version, which allows me to try things out, gain EXP in the game. I'm going to remove myself here because I'm just going to be in the way no matter where I am. But you'll notice a couple different things. I have energy here and I have health. And I'll talk about these other attributes later. But for right now, the energy and the health is all that matter. And the health is actually not even going to go down. And the energy represents how many different times I can use this per day. And as you can see, it'll take 11 hours for this to restore all the way up to 5. But if I just click the play button here, I can see easy, medium, and hard mode is available. Right now just represents how much EXP I will get, but as I actually purchase an NFT, it'll turn into how much reward I get, how much payout I get from each of these. So the harder it is, the better you make, more money you make from doing this. I'm going to go with the medium for right now, but easy is for somebody who maybe finds this challenging. And you could use this journal in the bottom right-hand corner. There's this AD that we can flip through the pages. You're basically just trying to match this little dial where we're trying to time things right. Different fish have different variations of what they'll do and what they're going to call for. So here we'll kind of show you what that looks like. Let me go ahead and hit the enter button to throw out my line here into the water. And boom, right away, I actually see a fish. That could actually have taken up to a minute. With these arrow keys, you'll notice there's a couple of different variations. Sometimes I'm just hitting the arrow key. This purple one represents the opposite behavior, and these ones where it has these little lines, these little bumps, are going to be press and hold options. So a couple of different ways that you'll reel in the fish. Press and hold, or the purple one is the opposite direction of whatever it shows. But here I got 100% accuracy. I can claim my reward there, and this will actually now allow me to gain a little bit of XP from that. So pretty cool. So now here with this, we'll close out of that one. We'll jump into the harvester game. Similar idea. I got 5 out of 5. I'll move myself out of the way again. And with this, I can use this 5 times per day, and it's got a couple of different level stats here. So by pressing play, again, easy, medium, hard. How difficult do I want it to be? I'm pretty good at the harvester game, so I'm just going to go for the hard mode here. And this one is just going to use WASD, the classic arrow keys off on the left-hand side there. Again, the journal is going to show me how to play here. I can also use the arrow keys if you want to. I'm a WASD guy. That's my classic move. And you'll notice there's a couple of different things going on here. Let's just show you what it looks like live. You can read through that if you wanted to. And by hitting enter, I start this off. I get a 3, 2, 1 at the top here. Boom, I'm going to start here. This is my strategy. Back it up and going over here to pick up the crops. Now, I do have to be going forward in order to pick up the crops, but they respawn pretty quickly. So here I'm getting a couple cabbages. Boom, look at that. I wait a second and I can pick some more up. And now I'll go over here to drop them off. In each of the levels, you have a supply market, as you can see. This is where I've dropped off my crops. And it'll also have a location to get gas. So off to the bottom right, you can see my gas gauge is running out, and these arrows would normally boost me if I was going the right direction, but in this case, I'm going backwards. Here, boom, I fill up my gas, standing at the gas station. Might as well grab some of these radishes while I'm over here. I'll take a second pass. I might as well try to get as many as I can. Hey, wait a minute. There's a box. These boxes offer different power-ups. If you miss it like I just did, they turn into a poof of smoke, but you can grab them and get different things like unlimited gas here, or double turn-ins. So any vegetables that you turn in while you have the power-up is doubled. Here I've got 55 in the bottom left-hand corner out of 100. Let me just fill up on all these radishes while I'm on this side. Ooh, might as well grab this other box here. You can see it fills up my gas meter to the max again there. I got unlimited gas. Boom. If you bump into anything, you bounce back. Boom, I turn something in, and look at that. This up here in the top left is how much the supply depot has as it's filling up these different orders that you see on the list here. There's only 2 different types of vegetables or crops in this particular game or this particular map, and we can see they're very quickly filling up the orders. Oh, but look at this. It ran out now. I don't have enough of these radishes to fill. I only have 13 in my supply depot, but I need 17 to fill the order. I'm going to whip over here to the radishes side. I got 22 cabbages here, so I should be able to fill that up when we hit it. And once we get over here, I might as well grab some gas. But if I go fast enough, you'll see here I can get this double rewards from the 27 radishes I have. Oh, I'm not going to make it if I'm bunking around. Boom, look at that. 27 times 2, now I'm up to 67. And if I get to this, which I didn't, I would have added the reset to that as well. Now, if I get gas and I get the 2 times here, the double points, it'll actually add both of them and reset both of the power-ups. There's a third power-up of freeze, a little snowflake, which is going to freeze the timer here for these things going down. Look at that. Now I got double power-ups. I got 5 seconds left. I'm probably not going to make it to the other side before I can turn in these roll radishes, and boom, just like that, we end. So we got 20 that were delivered, 3 that failed. Not bad at all. I'll go ahead and claim again here. And with this, I'm going to see XP, and I can go ahead and normally claim cryptocurrencies as well once I purchase them from the NFT marketplace. Talk about that in just a bit. One last game here, the shooting game. Again, we got the energy, 5 out of 5. It's full. I can use this 5 times. Go ahead and play. And on this, I'm pretty good as well. It's really just a fishing game I'm not that great at. Move myself away as well on this one. Just a lot to see. We go ahead and look around. I use, again, the WASD to move. The journal's going to be there for you if you wanted to reference any of the different, kind of targets and controls that we have here to get an idea of what's going on. You'll kind of get an idea of the different things. There's bears, ducks, and deer, and 3 different power-ups. One that's yellow increases speed, one that's red increases damage, and one that's blue that freezes the time and the gameplay that you're going through. You want to also notice off to the right-hand side here, this allows you to control the sensitivity, and we can change this up or down just by shooting these different numbers. I can also change my reticle a little bit here, so I like pink actually, just happens to jump out at me the most. And with this, I usually go at about 0.5. And I like this circle all the way as small as it can be, or pretty much as small as it could be, but there's a couple of different options. Once you're ready to go, you'll just kind of stand and line yourself up here. I might just actually make this a little faster. There we go. And I'll hit the enter just like on the other games. 3, 2, 1. And I'm waiting for targets to pop up. Hitting them in the head and hitting them scoped is going to be the best case scenario. So I'll go ahead and shoot these bears. Boom, boom, boom. And what you'll notice as well is both the left shift and the right click are going to allow you to do that scope action. And I want to capture these power-ups, but I also have to reload. Now, I can trigger a reload with the R key as well if I needed to, but when I line them up, boom, I get that red. And look, now instead of shooting them twice in the head, I only have to shoot them once and I can knock them down. If I hit the red again, I will reset it. If I had another color, it would actually reset both. And in this case, it actually only resets it a little bit for the color that you previously had. So since I had the red previously, it only gave a little bit of a reset to that, added a little bit to the time for the extra damage. And see here with the yellow, I'm shooting faster, but I can also reload faster. Catch another one of those, and that's probably one of my favorite ones just because reloading takes forever. And with both of them, look, now that I have red and yellow, I can actually knock down these different animals a lot quicker, and I can reload quicker, more damage, and shooting faster. The blue one is what freezes time. If I hit that, you can see the timer in the top right-hand corner will stop, and now things are moving slower. So that means the power-ups are falling slower, the animals are moving up and down, or actually they don't go down, I've realized. They'll stay up. So if you keep hitting the blue one, you can keep them perpetually pretty much, but they'll eventually run out of blue power-ups. And here, boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to hit them as fast as I can. I got a minute left. Every blue power-up, I think, is 5 seconds. And this is actually going to be the longest game. Here, just kind of rounding out the last 40 seconds. All right, so here we go. This is the end. The round is finished. I'll get my XP just like with all the other free-to-play NFTs that we have in here. That let me just show my score here and grab some XP to progress through the game a little bit. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is the animals. So here we have the different types of animals. Mine seem pretty empty, though. What's going on here? Well, with this little icon that you'll find, you can actually add first the free-to-play, but eventually the animals that you start to purchase for the game. And here, look at that. The cat can now walk around in his little house. Very nice. I also have a cow over here. Let's add him, get him out onto the pasture. There we go. And I got a chicken here. Let's get him going. And the way that this map is set up, I have my duck and my dog over here. I may actually reorganize this later to move them all closer together. I like them all clustered. You can do it any way you like, really, but it's just nice to have them all together so you don't forget anybody. Here's a dog, and here's a duck here. Look at that guy. He's one of my favorites. Boom. Everybody's out and about. Everybody's walking around. And so there's a couple of different styles. You'll find an adventure style and one that you just kind of feed and claim things regularly. So let's talk about the regular ones first. The cow, the chicken, the duck are going to be the regular style. And then the cat and the dog are going to be the two that they're adventure style animals, we'll call them. All of the animals, though, regardless, are going to be passive as opposed to the play to earn aspects that you get from the tools or that you'd get from, some of the games that you're playing, basically. So looking at the cow, he's very basic. You just want to hit this feed button over here. I'll get myself out of the way. And with this feed button, we're basically kind of like you saw with the tools here. We have energy. I can use this 4 out of 5 times per day. And I'm going to go ahead and feed him. It consumes 1 energy every time I feed. And it's going to increase this love meter here to be able to eventually claim my prize. Or claim the thing that I'm getting. So with this here, I'm able to show, this cow has been fed. He's got 14 on this love meter out of 100. The higher and higher that you increase this, the more that you get when you go to claim the reward. But let me go ahead and just claim it just to show you what it looks like. Boom, free to play. So I'm always just going to get XP at this time. And go ahead and claim that. So from here, now I'll show you the same thing happens with the chicken. Boom, go ahead and feed him. Increases the love meter, and I can go ahead and claim. So you can really see they're very passive, but give you that return on investment from claiming after feeding them. You have to feed them every 16 hours or else the animals are going to start to deteriorate their love meter, and you got to, sort of feed them to build it back up. You're on a treadmill. So after you get those types of animals, so I'm going to do my duck as well, just so we can get everybody included. Feed him. Once you do these animals, you're going to check out the adventure animals as well. The dog and the cat offer a little bit of a different style here. We can see with the doghouse, you feed them first, but then you have 4 different styles of adventures that you can go on to. So from here, we'll see 4 hour, 1 hour, 12 hour, and 24, which allow me to basically choose how big of a return on investment I want to get or how much of a reward I want to get, and also the amount of health that is consumed. Now, with the free-to-play ones, the health doesn't really matter because it's never going to go down. When you actually purchase an NFT, you have to pay money to revive the health. It should be, or in most cases, is less than what you're using to actually earn money with that NFT. So keep that in mind. It's an important factor. In this case, though, because it's free, because it's free-to-play, the health doesn't matter. Let's send him on a 24-hour adventure. And look at that. There he goes. Countdown starts, and he's going to go, and I basically would claim it 24 hours from this point. To be able to start moving forward with that guy. And then I could feed him again at that point and kind of repeat the whole cycle. Here with the cat, same thing. I would have to feed it, build up the love meter as high as I'd like it to go, and then I go ahead and just send him on an adventure and claim it when the adventure's done. When you go to send him on an adventure, you'll notice that the love meter goes away. So I'll go ahead and send this one on a 4-hour adventure. And see the love meter goes away, so you don't have to worry about that 16-hour interval. They're not going to be, losing that value over time. All right, so you've seen all these things. You want to try them, but now you'd like to put some funds into the game and actually start earning with the ones that you can actually buy. Now, I'm going to get to this NFT marketplace in just a minute where we'll start to go over how to pick your first NFT, which one you'd want to get, and I'll talk about some of the different ideas that at least I have as strategies that I use. But how do we get money into this? Now, my favorite way is actually just using Moonpay. We can see here with the plus sign up in the top right-hand corner, two different main options. FTX is one of the partners of DeFi Land, so they make it easy. But with Moonpay here, you're pretty much just funneled through a credit card payment system, which allows you to just connect and add money right in. So let me move myself over here. We can see, do I want to spend 300? Let's make it 30 bucks today. I'll go ahead and hit continue. And from here, I've already made my account. I've already preloaded all this stuff. So it basically just has all my information here already and knows that it's going to my wallet and all those types of things. So I'll go ahead and just ship it. And, they're kind of basically just giving me a warning here saying, hey, if anybody tried to get me to do this, if anybody's tricking me, double take, think again about what you're doing. In this case, I know what I'm doing. So here, going through the Visa transaction processing usually takes a little bit, but basically goes out, buys my money, takes my money, and brings me my crypto. I'm gonna let that sit. I'll just go ahead and close that window. I should see that starting to pop in my user net worth up in the top right hand corner. All right, so now the transaction is settled. I've withdrawn some money from my actual bank account, put it into this DeFi Land game with that Moonpay app that I use. So what you'll notice first in the top right-hand corner, these all say 0. Well, I'll tell you first, you may have to actually reload the game just to make sure that everything's recognized across the blockchain. But the toggle switch in the top right-hand corner is also going to be super important. This switches between the in-game and the global wallet that you have. Think of global as something that you plan to send somewhere else, and in-game is something that you plan to use in-game for the actual aspects of playing or whatever. So my money, when I first received it, is going to be in my global wallet. And in this case, when I purchase it with Moonpay, it's in the form of Solana. Solana is the blockchain that this is all built on. That's fine, because this market I have actually allows me to translate any of the coins that I have to anything else that I'd like it to be. So really makes it very versatile to be able to switch any coin that I happen to get in here in any form to whatever I want it to be. Now, my idea is to actually use this money to start to purchase an NFT in the game so I can start to get into it. So I'm going to change my Solana into DFL, the DeFi Land token, their native token. This is a transaction you would never want to do, where you take all of your Solana and max it out to anything, because you need a little bit of Solana to basically pay for the fees, and it's called gas fees that you basically use to translate and move things around. Now it's like pennies. It's less than a penny every time you do it, but you do need just a little bit. So what I do is I max it out, and then I'll go ahead and just change the 7 to a 6, and boom, let's go ahead and swap that. Now, anytime you do anything that's changing what you own or moving things around, you're always going to get this transaction approval. So I'll go ahead and approve that with my Phantom wallet in this case. I get this little trade offer window with this guy here where he's trading my Sol for my DFL. And I get the satisfaction. We get the thumbs up over here, the green light in the bottom left-hand corner. So now that I've actually translated, I love these little trucks. They go ahead and trade from my house with the Solana going to the market and the DFL coming to my house. And I can use this DFL token now in the game. In this case here, the NFT marketplace will be really the best place to get the NFTs for us. But there are a couple other locations you can get it, Magic Eden and things like that. Here on the home tab, I'll first go to collections, but you'll notice there's also a toggle in the top right hand corner, which represents which token I'm talking about. So I could be in the native Solana token, but right now I'm just going to go in DFL, just because it's easier for me to read and to recognize. And here, let's see, I got a couple of different options. Nothing's jumping out at me. But looking off to the left at my wallet here, I'm able to show, what I have already, maybe what I've listed for sale, or anything that I might have bid on. All right, so let's actually go to the collections tab and start looking for an NFT to purchase. This is showing me all NFTs. I have a toggle in the bottom left-hand corner that I can see every NFT that's out there, not necessarily ones that are on the market, so I can bid on things that I might find that it's cool, see a duck that I want. Maybe it's not actually listed, but the owner would take me up if I offered him $1 million DFL, right? Here off to the left-hand side as well, I see the different categories of the different types of NFTs, fishing, harvester, shooting, the games, or the animals as well. And when I select with one of those, I get additional filters. Like for the harvester here, I can pick the different rarities of the different parts of that harvester. For example, the tube, or I can even see with the tube name, I can select the color that I might want or sort of the type of tube that I'm picturing to build my favorite kind of NFT that I'd like. No matter which NFT you get, you always have these 4 different attributes: energy, health, reward, and game. And they're all going to be listed as different things. So like harvester, body, tube, and wheel in this case. And if I look at a gun, it's going to have something different, but they're all going to follow the same format of what they're doing. The energy is how many times you can use that item per day, but also how quickly the energy restores. So it'll restore faster if you have a higher max energy. You can use it 11 times per day as opposed to 2 times per day. For example, this one here is at 2 times per day. It's at 2 energy. You also have the health stat. This is going to be how much it costs to repair an item after you've used it. So for example, with the games, when you play a game, it costs a little bit to restore. In this case, 19.6 DFL, 19.968, and that's how much it costs to repair. And that's also going to be a stat later on that they're using for crafting that I can get into more later. The charm stat, this one in the bottom left-hand corner, is the reward attribute. This is going to be where it's the return on investment for how much or what you're getting out of that when you're using it. So here, when I play the shooting game, it's how much I'm getting every time I use that item or play that game. Finally, the game stat. This is the one that changes depending on which NFT you're talking about. For the games like the shooting, the fishing, and the harvester, it's going to make the game easier for you so that you can score higher. The higher score, the more reward you get. So it, in turn, reward is sort of found from that. With the animals, you're going to find that this is actually how much they're being fed. The food meter increment, that's that love meter that's going up every time you use it. So you can feed it, in this case, 4 times per day, almost 5 times, 4.7. And every time it's going to increase at 4.336 out of 100. So when your reward is collected, that's really going to help a lot to, build that higher and higher before claiming that attribute from the chicken. So another really important thing about the market to look out for are these little numbers here with the attributes. Now you'll see this one says 19 and 4 out of 30, whereas this one off to the right-hand side for nearly the same price, actually identical price to this one, shows 30 out of 30 and 50 out of 50. And this represents how much somebody has actually reinvested into this, where these ones actually need me to put money back in before they are getting the max energy that they possibly could have or the max reward they could possibly have. Somebody has already put this to the top level, so this one is going to be a better buy. Where I'm looking at this, it is also going to have an uncommon versus a 3 commons here that we see. And this represents potential to me. So common versus uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, all the way up. It just gives the potential to have higher and higher stats. This one gets topped out at 30, so basically 4.7 energy. Whereas if I had an uncommon, it's somewhere around double that, somewhere around 8 or 9 energy, right? That I could use this harvester 9 times a day as opposed to 4. So eventually, having something that is a better stat lets you get more reward, and that's why they cost more. I can use it more per day. I can get more out of it per day. Is going to equal, better payout here. So let's go ahead and grab that one there. And I'll go ahead and just buy this. And here I'll accept this offer. You'll see a transaction pop up. This is where I'm sending some Solana just for the transaction. You'll notice it's less than a cent. That's the gas fee. I'm receiving the harvester that I'm purchasing, and I'm sending my 14,500 DFL for the transaction itself. Here, I'll move myself out of the way a bit. You can see the transaction actually happens here. And this allows me to now go use this and start playing and earning. If I go back to my map here, I can X this out, and I can almost immediately go over here to see in the harvester, my new harvester that I just purchased. And now with this one, what's important is you'll have the stats in the bottom right-hand corner. Every time I use this NFT, it's going to eat up some of this health. But I also have the ability to upgrade this. If it wasn't maxed out, I'd be able to put money back into it to actually, get these to better and better stats. So because these are common, they're already at level 30. It's maxed out. I've already done that. In this case, I don't have to. If I wanted to repair, if it gets broken, this repair button allows me to just drag the slider up and down, hit the repair button, and pay for that transaction. This now allows me to earn money. So using that harvester, I can actually start to gain, Goldie. I can start to translate Goldie into anything with the market that I'd like, back to USDC, back to Solana, more DFL, purchase more NFTs, whatever I'd like to do. So ends up being a really neat functionality to, kind of earn that and then put it into this market to use wherever. So there's a couple of other things that you're going to notice in your map that are interesting. One of the big ones are these farms. So these are used to gain a return on investment from a strategy called liquid pairing. Now, don't be afraid, because it makes it really easy with this interface to take advantage of that. And with this farm board off to the right-hand side of my screen here, I can actually see which one is going to give me the best return on investment. You may notice Tulip versus Radium. That's just different protocols that they're using. Tulip allows you to reinvest. So this 271% that I get is constantly auto-compounding back into the original amount that I put in there. So here we can see this TTT and USDC pair is the best. It's got 271%, but I could also see some of these other ones are pretty good as well. My strategy personally is to use something that has a high percentage, but don't put all my money into it, and then spread it out to maybe something that I might recognize, which is likely going to be lower down on the list, lower return, but a little safer because for me, I kind of know more about it. Let's look at this triple T USDC and try to make that into a liquid pair. Now, basically, it happens in this laboratory, but I need these two things in order to produce a seed. Now, if I had a seed here already, I could remove that here and just put it back into, whatever these two are. And this breaks down the seed so that in this case, I get DFL and USDC. But now going over to the market, I can essentially change anything into anything else that I want and make it as needed. So let's see, let me put everything into USDC. And then I can take half of that and put it into that triple T, and that's where I can make a seed out of half triple T and half USDC. Here, I'll just go ahead and dump my DFL into USDC, and let's go ahead and flip these around. And I want this to be triple T. There it is, very easy. I'm just going to put this right at 50%. I'm looking over here, 51. It's not quite there. Boom, 50%. So now having half of one and half of the other, I go ahead and approve the transaction. And I can go back over to the seed lab over here in the laboratory and actually create that pair. I'll go ahead and just change this. It actually knows I have this. If I max it out, I should just get half and half. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. And it successfully created my seeds. I can see these trucks are driving all around here, doing all the work for me. But now I've got my seeds and actually plant them here in a farm. I like the Tulip protocol just because it's automatically auto-compounding back in. I can just max out the seeds or spread them out, maybe half Radium, half Tulip, whatever I want. And look at that, just approving the transactions. This guy gets to work here, and they're going to start planting those farms. Now, looking at this farm, I can see how fast it's growing. This will actually change, so don't think that it's going to stay at 271%. Could go up, could go down, depending on what the market does. But I can see the total amount and really how much I've made. In this case, because it's Tulip, I can't harvest it. But if it was Radium, I'd be able to sort of take things out as needed. It's automatically compounding, automatically putting what it makes back into the total amount. So that's what you can do with farms. There's a couple of different styles of farms. You got potatoes, there's some trees, there's a couple of different things that you can see. But it's a really cool way to get that return on investment from a really neat graphical and easy to use interface. A really cool building on your farm is Pete the Flipper here, and this is a guy that allows you to actually gamble some of the earnings that you got. Something important though is to note you have to have the money in your in-game wallet as opposed to in your global wallet, but here you're actually allowed to choose different amounts of DFL or Goldie and flip a coin. And this basically is just a 50-50% chance to either double your money or lose whatever you put into it. So here in this case, I got a bit of Goldie. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the coin. Let's see what I can get. I try to look at it and try to just see what it was at the last moment. Maybe I'm just totally, wasting my time. I'm gonna go for heads. And in this case, cross my fingers. And it looks like I actually got it. I got the sharp eyes and I got plus 500. Flip again. Let's see. I'll do that again. And let's go for tails this time maybe. And maybe I'll lose my money that I just got. Boom, there it goes. So that's as easy as it is. Change my bet here. Let's go for 1,000 this time. Flip it just in the same way. Boom, bam. I'm gonna go for tails again. And heads. Lost it all, guys. That's how it goes. Don't get angry at Pete. He's not going to do anything different. You can't yell at him. You can't get angry. You can always just come back and try to bet again. So try your luck there with Pete the Flipper. He's pretty cool, but be careful. It's very easy to lose a lot of money fast or gain a lot of money fast. So another building on the map is the bank, and this is an important one because it allows you to unlock more investment strategies with a simple graphical interface. Here, this bank allows me to leverage a form of investment called staking, which is super common in cryptocurrency, but if you're not familiar with it, basically allows me to lock up my coins to get a return on investment. If it's a flexible staking, it allows me to take it out at any time, so I could put this in, take it out immediately, but I'm getting a lower return on investment, 24% in this case. If I lock it up, it means I can't take my original investment out, but I can actually get a higher APY here, 107%, to allow me to get a better return on investment for what I'm putting in. Here with the accounts tab, you can see I have a couple examples of this. 13,674 was one that I put in with a weight of 3, and after adding a little bit more to this, it's brought this weight down and also brought down my APR, but still has a pretty good return on investment. Every 7 days, I'm able to claim whatever this is producing, and I'm also able to auto compound, meaning whatever this produces can go back into the original investment here, the staked amount, and allow me to continue to accumulate that faster and faster. Let me show you an example of how I could stake something flexible. I got 12.96 DFL here, not very much, but just using this as an example. I just hit the slider, go ahead and hit the stake button, and boom, approve the transaction. It's done. With the accounts tab, now I can see my 12.96. I can immediately unstake it, and I can also auto compound this as well. If it was flexible, I don't believe the auto compounding is available. It's only allowed to auto compound with the fixed, the locked in. We also have this up here with the statistics tab, which is showing me everybody what they're doing, what they're investing, so I can get an idea of where I stand and if this is going up or down, sort of the sentiments of how they feel about the coin in the market. So that's the bank. So there were two features that were recently added where they're not actually integrated into the website yet, so I wanted to let you guys know what those were: staking and naming. So staking.defiland.app is the way that you'll get to this portion, and I'll talk about this in a second, but naming.defiland.app is how you get to the naming feature of this portion of the project. So here with this tab, the DFL tab at the top, this is going to be exactly what you had with the bank. So it has all the same functionalities with the bank. Make sure to connect your wallet if you want to use this functionality, or the liquid pairing I'll show in 2 seconds. With the wallets here, I'm going to go ahead and select Phantom because that's the one that I got. And you can see actually the staked accounts reflected from my bank listed here as well, just a different way to access it. What's really important though is this liquid pairing, where I can use a protocol that's similar to what you'd see with the farming and the farms in the game, but now this is a protocol built by DeFi Land where I can actually get a better APR, a better return on investment. So here, I'll just drag the slider to bring it up to however much I can, add it to the pool, and now I've got some of these liquid pair tokens that I can stake. Now I can either stake it locked or flexible, same like I could with just the regular DFL token, but this is like half USDC, half DFL. And so now when I go ahead and stake this, it's a little bit of a different APR, and I'll approve the transaction. And here at the bottom, it shows me what I've done. I got these tokens. This is going to be both of the tokens together, so it's not going to equal, a number that you may expect, but it's going to be sort of the liquid pair, and however many of those liquid pair tokens you have. The weight representing kind of, how long I've locked it in for. Flexible is 1. As you can see here, locked in, it can go as high as 3, and then I can claim this reward periodically. In this case, I can do it as much as I want, as opposed to the limit that I saw with the bank, which is once every 7 days. So this is a really cool way to put money back into the project, believe in the project more, and actually, again, get some more return on investment on a new investment strategy. The other thing that we have here is naming.defiland.app, which is a way for me to actually name the NFTs that I purchase. Up in the top right-hand corner, first I'll connect my wallet, and I'll see the NFTs that I have available. In this case, just the one harvester that I purchased. By selecting this, I can make up a name, and it'll cost me 1,000 DFL to actually do that. When I submit this, now it's actually making a change to the blockchain. Even if I sold this harvester, it would still have that name tied to it. Pretty cool. I have most of my animals named. It's one of the cool things that I have. Once I get to forging and we can actually start building the NFTs and making them a lot better, I'll talk about that more in a minute. I'll start naming some of my tools because I'll know I'll be sort of at their end game status. So in the top right hand corner, you'll notice these two different buttons, one of which is the NFTs tab. This allows me to have a single location instead of going to each of the individual buildings to access my NFTs, maybe look at my harvester here and decide that I want to upgrade or repair him, or just go through each of them to make sure that everybody's repaired or something to that effect. So the NFT tab makes a centralized location to access all your NFTs instead of going to each of the individual buildings. And then I have these three lines in the top right-hand corner, which give me a couple different options and settings. Here with the transfer funds option being the first one, I can send and receive. This gives me my wallet address so I could share it with somebody that would want to send me money. And I also have the ability to send something to an individual. These are the tokens that I have, so I can put their address and how much I'd like to send to them. Looking at some of the other options here from the drop-down, I also have a wallet transfer. This is between my personal in-game wallet and my global wallet. With this button in the middle, I'm switching between which direction I'm going, maybe from global to in-game or the opposite, but this is representative of in-game where I'm actually using the money, or global where I'm receiving and sending things before bringing it in-game that I can actually start to use it. So these are ways that I can look at things and move them from both of those options that I have. If you're initially in there, you may have to create a token for the global wallet and set things up kind of initially, but very easily I'm able to transfer things back and forth. This is also where I get this toggle button. I can switch back and forth between which wallets I have to see the in-game or global wallets here. With the edit mode, I'm able to start to move things around. I get a grid on my map that I can see where things are, pick things up and move them to where they should be, or put them back in my inventory if I don't want to use them. I also have a number of items in the bottom here that would not have been placed yet, or maybe I haven't placed yet, that I can actually start to customize my map and make it anything that I'd like to see. With the billboards, I'm also able to place things down and put something on them. This billboard I can't see, so remember with the Y and the T buttons, I can rotate things around. I'll go ahead and save here. These billboards are cool because I can actually place an NFT on here. There's different websites that allow me to turn any picture into an NFT, so I can basically put whatever I want here. And in this case, I would put my harvester, for example, to have him showing and allow me to display my NFTs that I'm proud of. So that's the edit mode. You also have a screenshot that you can take, pretty self-explanatory. Boom, I can take a shot of my farm and share it, or maybe retake that again somewhere else. Here as well with the drop down, I have a settings option. And this is the final area where I can go to very clearly change quality settings of what we're looking at with the different weather, but also with the settings of where the graphics are as well. Here, the other settings allow me to change the master volume, the in-game music, the effects, and things of that nature. Some of the music you'll want to notice as well is in the top left here, where I have a radio tower. This allows me to leverage Audius, which is an NFT music website, to listen to different types of music. Soul, popular, lo-fi is probably my favorite. But where I hit this green button now, I get this little display here at the bottom, which allows me to switch through that and control the music, but allows me to still play games and use this while I'm using the project. So pretty neat, the radio, but you can toggle the music down with that settings if you don't want to listen to both here. So turn this down if you got the radio on, leave that up if you're just happy with the default music. One of my favorite parts about DeFi Land is their Discord. You can access their Discord from the main defiland.app. They got the icon there that'll bring you right in. Their general chat's probably my favorite place to hang out. We got some great folks in here, always some good community members talking about their experiences, sharing what's going on, talking about other things, answering questions. Great folks in here. But we also have the ability to reference tech support. So here with this tech support tab off to the left-hand side, I'm able to actually create a ticket essentially to have some eyes on the DeFi Land team to get somebody to help me with what's going on. Maybe something's not happening the way that I'm expecting. Maybe there's issues. And this is a great way to get somebody to look at this. Recently, this was updated so we get these one at a time instead of a free-for-all, which has been great. We also have the Farmers Hall off to the left-hand side here, which every Friday at 3 p.m. UTC, Erwin, the creator, is going to jump on here and answer some questions, which the chat will open up in the question section here, and you can see, people typing in a few hours before this event begins. There's also going to be giveaways that happen here at the beginning and the end of these events, so make sure you're punctual and make sure you're staying to the end. Lots of cool stuff that's announced and released during these weekly updates, so lots of cool stuff to find there. There's also announcements that you're going to see here, which is going to be just a way for you to keep a pulse on what's going on with the project, see what's new, what's happening, and what types of things that they're looking to do in the future. So lots of cool stuff and exciting things happening in the announcements section. But as you're looking through here, you'll notice a couple of different things. The red text is going to represent people that are part of the actual project themselves. So we have the team members off to the right-hand side here, but we also have moderators like Brooklyn Razis, which is actually going to be a way for you to get some help from people that are dedicated to helping and being on the DeFi Land Discord at all times. You then have server boosters, bots, and some folks you might notice with different icons. For example, the ones that are either these moderators or the ones with these little OG icons. These are people that have been around the game for a while. So those are the types of folks that you can sort of trust to give you, information or answer questions about the game itself. All right, guys. So as you can see, tons of different things to do in DeFi Land. A lot of features just came out and even more features just around the bend. That's probably one of my favorite parts is they're upgrading and updating all the time, adding new content. Forging is just around the corner, which allows me to take an NFT and all of its attributes become their own NFTs. I then recombine those attributes to make a super NFT with all the best attributes that I can collect. Crafting, which is better attributes that break, so like a fishing hook that's better than what I had but would break over time. And you also have renting, so I can lend out my fishing rod to somebody that might be better than me and give me money when I'm on vacation, or rent something that I can't afford, or a better legendary thing that I can't afford and use that, make more money. There's also going to be a racing game that's just around the corner where there's a special secret animal that is going to be something that we can bet on. And there's also the mobile support that's coming out for Android, iOS, and even better, the Solana Saga mobile phone. So tons and tons of things coming out. We are seeing DeFi Land partnering with more and more big names in the space, and lots of cool things coming for this. So I hope you guys stick around. I know I will, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day as well.